What's going on, bro?
What's good, man?
Shit, what's good, man? How you been?
I'm good. How long it's been since we last seen each other?
I think about like a year ago.
Probably about a year.
Yeah,
huh?
like homecoming.
Last
yeah, it was
October?
homecoming. Yeah, last October.
Last October. So you know what I'm saying? For me, just following you along on social media and things like that, I saw you post a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, a video on Shook.
Yeah, man.
Why now? Why post that video now?
All right, for me, honestly, like I think that everything that was going on with Ahmaud Arbery, that's the real reason why I made the video. After seeing his video, like just going to take a run, being a black man, taking a run and actually just and getting killed, getting hunted down like prey. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what the video. I was gonna drop the video the week after they showed that video, but after that, George Floyd died. So I just stopped altogether. So then, like I think like a month or so after everything calmed down with George Floyd, I kind of wanted my message to get across so people can really understand it instead of just putting out when all the hype was going on. So I kind of want to put out, like, I think it was July 2nd I dropped it. I really wanted to do it just when I can catch everybody's attention. Like, look, this is crazy that we can even run now. Like, mothers can't even run for real.
So as a black man, do you think it's scary for you just to live in America and in this climate? Like, is it like kind of scary?
Yeah, man, it really is. But at the same time, though, I think that, you know, I was telling you earlier, man, I feel like a lot of times with America, bro, it's like they don't want us here, but then they don't want to let us leave. You know what I'm saying? If we try to leave or try to seek other things or try to get financial stability for ourselves or try to have our own businesses, try to stick together. Anytime we try to stick together, they kind of dismantle it and we all fighting at each other because of they don't want us to even get together because they know if we do that, we'll leave and it'll crumble.
So do you think this video just dropped is like you're part of like the revolution or sending a message to other black people?
It is sending a message to other black people, just letting them know, like, regardless of what goes on in our lives, because a lot of things we face with a lot, especially black men and women, you know, we face with a lot of things. You know, regardless of what goes on in our life, God, you know, we still remain unshook because God got us. It's like a faith thing. Just knowing that regardless of what happened to us, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things do happen, we still gonna keep moving forward, like we've always done, bro. We all. I think African Americans, we are the most adaptable people because we have to adapt to everything that they throw at us, bro. Like, so I think that's pretty much, you know, the message I want to send to everybody.
So you say that, you know, throughout our lives, we have to go through and have to adapt to different things. What is something in your life now that you have to adapt to with the game and the system and what's going on?
I think I'm gonna be honest, bro. African Americans are the only people who have to go to work and not be themselves, bro. We are in character every day. Like we are in character, bro. That's the thing you really have to face. You can't really be yourself. You can't really be who you are at work.
Do you think it's places where you can work, where you can be yourselves, or the plan or the goal is to be able to own your own business?
My own business. I think that there are some things that places you can go where you can be yourself and you can actually be who you want to be, but it's rare. Like in corporate America, it's really not like that. In corporate America, bro, you really have to go there, and I have to go to work and be tiring. I have to go to work and be tiring, bro.
Yeah.
I can't go to work and be TJ. You know, the soul lift. I can't go to work and be that. Regardless, and still going to work. And this is certain professionalism. You do want that. You do want to be professional and be able to carry yourself a certain way. But it's like I can't even say how I feel about something at work.
Do you think that the position that you're in now is something that you wanted 5 years ago and just didn't know it was going to turn out like this?
Bro, I dreamt everything. I seen everything before it happened. Like I actually seen all of this right now. Everything what I have right now, I seen it before it happened. Cause you know I was in Birmingham like in 2016. I didn't have a job. I lost my job working for BT Networks, and I didn't have a job, bro. So it's like I'm trying to get the last of my last little money that I had from there, and then the unemployment and, you know, stuff like that, and try to survive off that. And actually during that time, bro, I think God really broke me down to the lowest of my low. I would say I could probably get broke down lower than that, cause that really humbled me. That time really humbled me. It was like I actually seen me getting a job at CNN before I got fired up there. I ain't gonna say fired. I got laid off. Our whole team got laid off. Before I got let go up there, I seen me getting a job here. I applied to a CNN job. I had an interview with CNN before I even came here.
Got you.
So the first time I didn't get the job. Then in January of 2017, got another interview. Didn't get the job that time. And then I got a job with the radio station here. I got a job at the radio station here, so I came here. I was going back and forth in Birmingham, and I was homeless during this time because I really wasn't staying nowhere. I was on the train, I was going to work, and I was sleeping here at the station, bro. Going to work. So I was just going back and forth, because I'm like, shit, I need to make money, right? Because I was still working at the Virginia College. My boy got me the job up there. And I was working out there as an armed security guard. That was like the most humbling part for me, going from making, this amount of money being at BET Networks to being an unarmed security guard at the college, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then having to go get a small radio job. Because at first when I came to Birmingham, I'm like, yo, when I came to Birmingham, I was like, they need to pay me at least $70,000. That's what I want. That's what I'm going for. That's what I was making here. I want to get paid that here. And our frat brother, he was like, nigga, this is Birmingham, bro. You're not about to get paid like how you want to get paid. Okay. And he was like, it take a little while, for you to get into a position to get that much money. But anyway, yeah. So that kind of brought me to this. I've seen this before I got here.
Let's circle back around. So I hate to say the company name again, but you worked at BET. Even though we know that it's white owned, it's still a network for black people and our culture. How did it feel getting let off by somebody who you think that would have your back and was for you and for everything that you believed in?
I want to tell you something. I'll say this. I feel like even with that, them letting us go, it's about money. It's a money thing. It's not only think it's about color with that, because it's a money thing, saving money. They had a whole team of editors in New York. Why are we gonna keep the editors in DC for? And then we move in. Once they move master control up there, it's like that's it. The company's gone. Like ain't no point of y'all even being here no more because we moved this here. So they let us stay there for a few years and stuff like that. And I'm not mad about how I got let go. I mean, I want to stay there. I love the company. Like I love the company. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love the company. I love to work for you all again if it fits. But I would say it's just that was a really learning experience for me. Is really what it taught me, bro, is not to attach to anything. And that deals with spirituality and everything too. Attach to nothing, connect to everything. That's something that I go by now, because I think when you attach to things, I feel like you set yourself up for disappointment in the end, because you like everything is temporary. If the trees teach you life. The trees fall every year, but they come back stronger in the spring. It's life and death. It's yin yang. It's everything. You have to have one. You can't have one without the other. So it's like that's why you don't attach to nothing. Everything's temporary.
So this spirituality that you talk of. So you said you kind of spoke on when you sleeping out of a train, lost your job, and in between different points of your life. Did you find God after these things?
Did.
Or before you already held on to it and you knew and you kept on to that faith?
I want to tell you something. It was before then, because I want to tell you something. I have really vivid dreams, and there was a dream that kept coming to me that like they's gonna let us go. And I told God, I'm like, and it was funny, yo. I like, God, look, if they gonna let us go, like I trust you. I know that you're gonna provide for me. I know I'm gonna be all right. I said that to God. I'm like, I'm not worried about nothing. Like I ain't scared. I was terrified. I ain't scared. I have faith. And right after I said that, bro, it happened. Boom.
Wow.
I went down. I came out for a probate. I came back after a probate. They're like, y'all got 2 more months here. So that was in April. We had until I think it was July or August, around like August sometime, I think. It's August. They let us go in August 16th or something like that. That's when they let us go. And we had until that time, and it was like, I already knew. I'm like, damn, God, now what you gonna do now? Like, but I had the job interview with CNN, so that's why I'm like, oh, I'm about to be at CNN. And that didn't go through. Then the second time it came through, and then the third time I actually got the job.
Was this time losing your job? You think it was kind of embarrassing a little bit? Were you disappointed in yourself? Was anything that you kind of doubted yourself during that time?
Nah, I don't even think it was embarrassing. I think it was just like, nigga, I just want a job. I just want to work. I don't care what I was working at. Like I don't think it was really embarrassing. I think that it was more so like I was hurt because I loved the company. I loved working at that company. It's like it was really. I was putting stories together about us. You know what I'm saying? So that was really what it was. But I don't think it was nothing like embarrassment or disappointment, because there's nothing I can do about it. I didn't do nothing wrong for them to let me go. They were just trying to save money. So yeah. So I think it was decent. It really humbled me, and it's an experience I'm gonna talk about. And your viewers, y'all might think I'm crazy. It's okay. It's cool. When I was living in that pool house, Antonio's pool house, I actually saw God, and it's not in the form of what people would think it is. It was just light. It was a beam of light. It was rain. It hadn't rained in Birmingham in so long, and it was like a drought in Birmingham that year. And that day when it rained, it poured down, but it was a bolt of lighting on his pool, Antonio's pool, and the whole house was shaking, bro. Like the closer the light got off that pool, off that water, bro, and close to the house was shaking like a motherfucker, bro. And I've told this story a million times, but I felt like I seen, if it wasn't, I seen the power of God. That shit, it scared me, bro. I was terrified, and you can ask anybody who knows me. I told the story the same exact way every time because this is what my eyes saw.
Wow. And
the only thing I could do is the funniest shit. Only thing I could do, man, I put the cover over my head. I put the cover over my hair, bro, because it was like, I was terrified. I didn't know what was about to happen because I asked him, I asked him, Lord, if you are real, that's what I said. I like, Lord, if you are real, please show me who you are. I swear to God, on my grandfather's grave, on everything I love, bro. I asked him, like, if you show me who you are. And it wasn't no voice. It wasn't no person. It was light. It was actual light and a being. You seen the light move. Like that right there that changed my life, bro. That right there changed my life. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Wow.
Yeah, like for real. Everybody probably think I'm crazy.
Right now just listening to you, it's kind of like, wow.
No, because everybody, like, when I told Antonio, he like, man, you crazy. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, I swear to God, because the house was shaking so hard. Like, it was a shake. That thunder was a different shake, bro. I swear to God. And it was like on his pool, the light, you can see the light. It looked like it was day outside. That's how bright it was. Wow. That's how bright. It was dark. It was like at 2, 3 in the morning. It was dark outside. It looked like it was daylight for like a split minute, but that lighting was that motherfucker. It was walking on the water. It was coming towards the house. Wow. Yeah.
So let's go back to Unshook, that project, and I know you gave credit to someone else kind of filming it or doing the photography for it. What part of it did you kind of? Was it just the narrating? Was it the idea?
No, it was everything. And far as the video and stuff like that, those were my shots too. So as a producer, when you're doing certain videos, like how we just did this right here, you have certain ways you want certain things to look. You make an EDL list, make a list, and you're like, okay, I want this shot to look like this. I'm gonna come down this thing, running down this thing. I want you to follow me and back up like that. So it was certain things I was just telling him what I wanted him to do with certain angles and stuff like that. So he did a great job.
So you're kind of knowledgeable in all areas,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And you also are a producer as well.
Yes.
And so that's kind of like your main passion.
My main passion is music. Yeah, music is my main passion. I want to say something. I love film a lot. I feel like they both go hand in hand, but music really tells the story of any film, of anything. Music is really the vibes, bro.
Can you kind of tell us a time where you really knew you was in love with music and in love with the culture in hip hop? Is it a specific time that you kind of
2001. I think 2001. I always listened to Jay-Z. I always listened to music and stuff all the time. But when Blueprint dropped,
okay, one. Okay.
When Blueprint dropped, I was in high school. I was a sophomore in high school, and 9/11 just happened. Like it dropped on the same day, bro. Like that album, I think, helped build.
And how was it for Jay-Z as well? Like to drop an album on 9/11, still do numbers that he did, and produce that type of music. Like how was
the reason you want to tell the reason why that album did that? Now I'm about to get Kanye.
Okay.
Kanye produced half the album.
Okay.
And that sound and that feel was Kanye's. That was his name. Him and Just Blaze were the only producers producing like that. They made that sound. That sound created a different wave for hip hop. After that, Jay-Z, that really was the blueprint, bro. Like you still got niggas right now to this day still rap how Jay was rapping then, bro. Like Jay-Z the GOAT. Like you gotta say it.
So for me, I was kind of too young to. I'm familiar with the album, but I wasn't listening to hip hop when it came out. How was it when it came out? Could you feel the energy? What people talking about? Listen, like, how was that time when it dropped?
Motherfuckers like Hova is the greatest. The Takeover.
Yeah.
Listen, when him and Nas started beefing, when he dropped Takeover, you can hear that in every fucking car in Chicago. We in Chicago now.
So you're from Chicago?
I'm from Chicago, yeah. From the shop.
Okay.
Everybody in Chicago was bumped everywhere you went. Take Over. That was like the anthem in Chicago. Take Over, the break over. They like he went in, and I think that that feel, and like me being a sophomore in high school, some of the things he was talking about, I was going through. Girls, or Song Cry, like stuff like that. He was talking about like breakups and stuff. Like it was like I was going through that. I'm like, damn. And then like the All I Need, it was like how simple that song is. You know that song, All I Need. So with that song, it was just like, you know, this all I need. You had your crew in high school. You got your crew. I was on the football team and shit. You know, had your crew. Like this kind of, he was kind of describing that. He was kind of describing our lives. Like it was like a coming to age album for us.
Okay. So you kind of fell in love with hip hop then. What was your introduction into making music or
making beats? Oh man! So my whole life, my sister and them, they hated my ass. My whole life, always was beating on everything at the house. Yeah. I was always making beats. That's always been a thing for me. I've always danced. Always had rhythm. That's always something that was a part of me. But 2003, 2004, that's when I really started getting serious about making beats. Cause hometown hero Kanye West hit the ground running, and that shit kind of just blew. It was like, damn, this nigga from Chicago making beats. We thinking like, nigga, New York is the mecca of everything hip hop, and then the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Right. We got Twista and Common, but it's like it really wasn't moving. They were moving numbers, but they weren't really moving numbers like that. So I think that when Kanye came, Kanye helped bring the Chicago scene up for real. After that, Common dropped the album. Lupe, he's producing on Lupe Fiasco shit. He's producing on Twista, all the Twista shit. So
what is it about Kanye? You mentioned him a lot. Do you think it's his confidence? Do you think he kind of sees everything before he does it? Like, what is it that he's able to capture these things and execute it the way he does and have this effect on you and the people, you know, in Chicago and just hip hop in general?
He's so Chicago, bro.
And that's what it is. You think it's just his Chicago nature?
If you see how Kanye act, you can see that in all of us, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. You can see how he carry himself, and it's like, and everything that's against. Chicago is a hating ass town, bro. To make it out of Chicago is a big thing. You know, like it's a lot of talented motherfuckers there in Chicago. But you have somebody like, nah, I'm the point man. I'm not gonna let you. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So Kanye, everybody always talk about Kanye, why he leave and all that. Like that nigga, like I get the fuck up out of here. Niggas gonna kill me if I stay here. You feel me?
Do you think some of those traits are in you?
Yes.
Yes, bro. And you just kind of like, just because of the feel of being born in Chicago, being raised in Chicago, the people that you interact with Chicago.
Understanding Kanye's mindset. I understand his mindset. And a lot of people will be like, oh man, he's saying this. But bro, like, I can't get mad at somebody because they like somebody,
he do say some crazy shit sometimes.
Like what?
All right, we're gonna do this right now.
Yes, we about to do this.
He says a lot of crazy shit.
Like what, bro?
And I think one, I won't say just specifically what he says, but also being able to, let's just get into it, running for president right now and taking away votes from getting, you know, certain people out of office who we think should get out of office. Things like that is being, you know, it's just creating division amongst people. And I think those are like where I look at Kanye and I'm like, he might not have his head on straight there.
But I'll say this. But why can't we vote for a person like that? I already told you what I'm voting for, but we ain't going to. But why can't we vote for a person who's going to think for themselves and who got a different mindset than other politicians? That why is it so fucked up when black people, when we think different, when we don't just fall in line?
It's okay, you know, for him to think the way that he thinks, and I'm not going to stay on this long. It's okay for him to think the way he thinks. But it's lives on the line when we're talking about what we're talking about presidency. He has no experience with politics. This is something, national security is what's important in America. Our interaction with terrorists and things like that. He has no experience in that. These are lives that are at cost, healthcare, things like that. Now his ideas are great, and I'm glad that he's a black man and he's going to represent and kind of be the voice for black people because he's come from where we come from and he understands where we come from. But it takes certain steps to get to that, I think. And especially with this election, it's very important that we stay on the right track and keep our heads on because it's a lot that's going on.
That's true. I'll say this. I'll just say this. If we don't, African Americans, I feel we should start thinking for ourselves and stop picking the same politicians every time. We're picking the same politicians every time. Nothing's really happening. But then when we do have somebody of our own who's going to run and who's going to try to do something to try to change it, even though he don't know nothing about policy, that's what you got a team for. That's what you got an advisor. That's what you got this for. and he is a person who has a team. Kanye, believe it or not, listen to a lot of people, bro. He does. He have a team. Kanye's not a person by himself just behind the shit. His team is crazy. So I'm sure he'll listen to advice because certain shit he don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's just my perspective of it. And again, he is an arrogant motherfucker too. You know, he is arrogant, so he might have it to where he might have a big head as being president. But I already told you who I'm voting for. But I'm just saying, I'm not mad at that man for running. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that man for liking somebody because I don't like him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. I feel like we as people, if you really think about stuff, bro, like we can't stop people's evolution. Everybody have to evolve the way they're gonna evolve. You can't judge nobody because we're all evolving, bro. Like everybody's evolving. You know what I'm saying? Because his shit right now, we might like, this nigga's crazy as fuck. Why is he doing this? But that evolution that he going to, that shit like, see, we should have listened to this nigga. Oh, we should have listened to this. We should have listened to that. So I don't know, man. You know, I think that, you know, teach his own. That's my boy. But I told you what I'm voting for.
Okay, so all right, so let's go back to you, 2001.
Yeah.
Hearing that album and you fell in love with hip hop. What was your introduction into making your music? How did you get into that? Did you buy your own equipment? Were you using your friends? Did you let people even listen to your music when you first started out?
I did, and I was horrible.
Okay.
I was horrible. And I want to say something, and not even still now, when I play some of my beats, everyone's like, man, them shit's dope. I'm like, yeah, all right. Because it's like a thing like, I'm never satisfied with, that's one thing in production. It kind of drives you crazy because you're never satisfied with your last shit that you did. You're never satisfied, bro. And it's like an addiction. It's like, I got to make some more beats because that shit was dope, but I got to move forward. And I think that's my mindset and moving forward. But 2004, after Kanye came out with not late registration, not graduation, what the fuck? College dropout. College dropout. I graduated high school that year and I went to Northern Illinois University. And I had a mentor there named Anthony Curry. He's an alpha up there. And he's a mentor. That nigga made beats. He was dope as shit. He was cold like Kanye, bro. Like the way he chopped beats and how he did things. And I had my cousin, he was an alpha too. So he introduced me to him. And we built a relationship. And he showed me like, yo, this is how you arrange your song. This is how your drums should be. You should do this. You should put these tweaks on this. You should do this, you should do that. He showed me how to structure a song. But but you have your own style. You can't have your shit sound like mine. So he didn't tell me his little tricks and shit, how he made certain things sound a certain way. But he just gave me the layout, like this is how you arrange it. This is what you do. You put this before this. You do this before that. And I had like a sheet of paper that I would go down that shit over and over again, over and over again. So now I can get on there and make a beat in about like 2 seconds. Yeah. And just put that shit up because
do you learn from different producers? Do you watch a lot of people and listen to their things and try to break it down and learn from them?
Motherfucking Southside 808 Mafia. Shout out to that nigga, man. I always look at any videos that he have out or anything that has to do with his production because I think the way he programmed his drums, bro, are fucking crazy. Metro Boomin, anytime he are doing anything, like have something on YouTube, anything like I'm trying to watch it to make just because they use Fruit Loops like I do. And that's how I started. I download the Fruit Loops for free. You can even save beats. You have to like export the beat in order to keep the beat. You can even save your projects. That's how I started out like that. So now I actually bought the program, so I get an update every year on it. So shout out to Fruit Loops. I ain't bootlegging no more. You know? Got it.
So when you're making your beats, you learn from these producers. How are you able to still capture that Chicago soul that you say that all people from Chicago have? How are you still able to capture that listening to so many different producers?
I always stay true to myself. I always stay true to the soul. I call myself the soul lifter. I always stay true to the soul. And soul don't always mean it has to be somebody you sampling the song or something like that behind the music. It's just a feel. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's a feel with the beats. It's like my beats actually tell stories. When I actually pick the samples that I pick, I actually get samples that tell like a story. You know what I'm saying? In a way, like I feel like making a producer is actually that, telling the story. Like you got the rapper is the narrator, but the producer is actually telling a story. You got the hook right here. The hook is the beginning of the shit. And then you got the verse. The verse about to take you on a little journey. Then you go back to the hook again, like, okay, get back to this point, then go on the journey. Then you got the climax of the song, and the song go off. So it's like, that's kind of how making beats is. And you're creating a song. So that's kind of, what I do with it. So I keep that soul in there and keep that storytelling in there. So.
Okay, so talking about storytelling, I kind of heard one of your projects that you released a couple of years ago, The Fallback.
Oh, man.
What was the story? What were you trying to portray? I know about relationships and just the ups and downs that you have in relationships. What is the story that you was trying to capture in that project?
I'll say this. That's why I got to that point to the do not attach. Because you set yourself up for disappointment. I think that with that, I was in a relationship, and at the time, the woman was kind of like, you know, being like kind of short with me and shit. Like I was getting on her nerve in a way. And I'm like, all right, like, what's up? What's up with you? And, you know, just trying to just question, like, you know, you don't have to do that. You just talk to me and I'll back off. Like, you know, it's nothing. You know, like, I'm me. Like, I'll be straight, you know? And I think she kind of went about it the wrong way. So I just made the album that's kind of like the fallback. How Dwayne Wade, I based it off A Different World. If anybody know what A Different World is, I based it off that. How Dwayne Wade and Willie relationship, they started off as friends. That's how me and her started. It was just friends. It was like, you know, she asked him on the thing, like, you know, what type of wife do you want? And he told her what type of wife he want. And then he asked her what type of husband you want. She told him like, I want a husband that's rich. And he like, I mean, like, not rich, like, I want not a husband that's rich. She's like, he said, do you want a husband that's rich? And she was like, no, I want a husband that's enterprising, that's this, and that. And he like, oh, I thought you would want this type, but she's like, no, my husband that's those type of things, he is rich. She didn't say nothing about money. That's kind of how the relationship started with me and her. I know I was rambling, but anyway, yeah, you can cut that. But yeah, no, yeah, but it started with that, and it built into a relationship. Willie and Dwayne got together, then they broke up again, and Dwayne moved to fucking, I think, Japan somewhere. And then Willie got with the other guy, Byron, and then Dwayne came back. Dwayne had some feelings again. He quit old girl who was living in Japan with, because he had those feelings for Willie again. So then at the end of my album, I had it to where my album told the story of their whole relationship, and then at the end I had it to where Wayne busted up Willie's wedding and stopped the wedding, and then he went there and took his girl back. And so that was the whole thing. And yeah, but I didn't mind and go that way though. Yeah.
When creating that project, what was your space that you were you happy, heartbroken?
I was heartbroken, bro.
Heartbroken.
I was heartbroken. I make the best shit when I'm heartbroken. And not even just heartbroken, it's nothing to it. We can speak on that. I know we can speak on that. Like, I'm diabetic too. So even with that, depression plays a big part sometime in how I am. So with that, now I'm even in that space, the beats that I make are like the best beats, because it really, you can feel every thought in those beats. You can like in some of my beats, bro, like you can feel the thoughts in them. You can because it tells stories. So yeah.
Listening to a lot of your beats, and we kind of touched on this a little while ago about you staying true to yourself. Do you hope that when people listen to your music and kind of feel it, that they kind of connect with it? Is that why your name is like Soul Lifted?
Yup, because people gonna feel that. They're gonna feel that. They're gonna feel whatever space I was in. They're gonna feel that on those songs. They're gonna relate to it. It ain't gonna be like a thing to like, oh man, this nigga sad, or this nigga this. They gonna be like, man, like I feel the emotion on this song. Instead of me saying it, because I'm not saying like I'm an emotional person, but I put it in my music. You know, so I think that when they feel it, and I hope it gets to a point, because I know it's close. I'm gonna get a song that's gonna break. It's gonna be one beat that's gonna break, and then motherfuckers like, yo, what other projects you got? All the beats, all these beats, I done sent to all you fucking artists. When my shit go, I want my money. I'm just tell you that right now, because I give out a lot of beats, and then, you know, some people like, hey, I'm gonna buy this beat, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that. Now and then I'm like, all right, bet. The artists who really take themselves serious, they pay for shit. Like, how the fuck can you consider yourself an artist if you're not paying for what you're trying to get? You're trying to get something for free. So any nigga out there asking me for anything for free, man, like, go kill yourself, because that's disrespectful. You feel me? How can, you know what I'm saying? How dare you ask me for anything for free?
So what is the balance that you have to have between having you getting compensated for your work and also being able to help the next person out? So I'm sure that people helped you out along the way that you didn't have to pay for, things like that. So what is the balance that you have in between that?
I'm gonna say this: I have to pay for everything I have to do. That's one thing I'm gonna say. Everything that I have over there within that, I have to pay for everything. I have to pay my dues with that. I had to pay for, like, what I was doing, what I am still doing. I'm buying all of my equipment and shit, and I'm giving beats to motherfuckers. But I'm still buying equipment. I gotta get better. So, and I'm like, yeah, I'm giving these beats because I always want my name to get out there.
Okay.
That's the paying the dues. That's me giving. That's me helping, because you helping me, I'm helping you too, because you getting my name out there. So that's why I say when one of those beats pop, everybody know what time it is. After that, like, you try to drop some songs, I need to get paid because I have that thing to where like you can't. They leasing them. They actually leasing the beats. So yeah, you gotta protect yourself as a producer, bro. Because motherfuckers do not want to pay no money for real.
So let's go back to the fallback a little bit. You know, my parents were together they've been together almost 30 years. I know that your parents have been together. Do you think that it's harder now to like for black people to have real relationships, kind of like our parents? You know, that 30-year, 40-year marriage. Do you think it's harder for us now to find that?
It is. It's too accessible. And this is my real perspective on that. The thing is, I would love to have me a woman just be with one woman, just me and her, just building, just doing it, just me and her. I would love that. That's something I want. But most of them belong to the streets. I'm bullshit. I'm bullshit. No, for real. Like, for real though. For real though. Like, I'm dead ass because a lot of
So can you honestly say that in relationships?
Men and women.
Can you honestly say that for you in a relationship that you was 100% though, gave everything that you had, faithful, honest, vulnerable, and it just didn't pan out?
I think that a lot of times
because it sounded like you just putting all the blame on the other person in this relationship. You can honestly say that you gave 100%. I
can honestly say I gave 110%, bro. I think that that's the thing. I might have given too much too soon.
Okay, so being heartbroken and making this music that's heartbroken, what keeps you having faith that it's still something out there for you?
I never give up on love. That's crazy. Like I never let not one situation dictate my future. Never do that. Like this shit over with, that never happened. New life.
Well, I mean, it had to happen, right? Because you have to learn from it. You don't think?
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. That learning, I'm talking about like I'm talking about far as like stopping me from moving forward. Yeah, of course, I learned from that, but stopping me from moving forward to the next thing, no, yeah, I most definitely use that what I learned with that and move forward. But I'll never let me stop me from ever meet somebody new and try to start over again and try to learn that person because every situation is different, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like I'm an angel in all of these situations. I'm not gonna say that, but I would say that I gave 110% and communicating. A lot of times, a lot of people can't communicate or don't want to communicate. So I think that's really what it is. I'm not blaming nobody, but people don't know how to communicate, bro. Like it's real life, grown people, men and women who cannot communicate.
Do you think you said too accessible? You think that's maybe social media?
It's too accessible, man. It's like it's too easy. It's too fucking easy. It's too easy. $40 will get you in there. I'm dead ass. I'm being 100%.
Yeah.
I'm being 100%.
Gotta send the cash out.
You got cash out. Yeah. This is the era of the cash out. And then you got some niggas out here who broke too, who, you know, mooching off their chick, and you know, it's niggas out here who are cash out chicks too.
Yeah.
For real. And I'm not bullshitting. So I just feel like it's too accessible. You know, you can be with somebody, you can be talking for like a few months, they'll see the next person, this nigga got money over here, boom, I'm gone.
That's the person that you find, do they have to have that love for music that you have?
Yes, a little bit. I want to tell you something. Even if they don't, whatever they're passionate in, I want them to be just as passionate there as I am in music, so I can learn from them, so I can learn what they know from their shit. Like with me, like you don't have to know everything about music, but that's gonna make you want to be more intrigued than me. So if you passionate about stars, tell me all about astrology. Goddammit, I want to know that. You feel me?
You want to know about the little dipper and the big dipper.
Exactly. You feel me? You feel me? Like for real, no, for real. Yeah. But I think that's you know, so they really don't have to have a love for music, but that's a plus if they do. If I can play an old song and they're like, what you know about such and such, I'm like, damn, sure you know about that.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's really most definitely is dope. That's why I look for a partner. Well, I really look for a partner, bro, and I don't never tell no partner what I'm looking for. You don't do that. You let that partner be who the fuck they gonna be, and then you figure out what that shit gonna be after that. Because if you tell a person, you like, yeah, I want a woman who's like this, they gonna pretend and be who the fuck you saying they want them to be. And then after a while, like, all right, I'm tired of doing this shit. Yeah. All right, I'm tired of doing this. Oh, this nigga ain't got the money how he had first. I'm not doing it no more. Yeah. You know, same thing for niggas. Niggas will pretend, niggas will pretend to get that thing. You can tell them all shit. This type of man, they gonna do everything, and then boom, niggas dip out. Yeah. So it's not just a woman, it's men, and it's some fucked up individuals out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying like I haven't done my share. I'm not gonna say like I haven't, but I always communicate. I think that communication is key. but actually retaining the information that the person is communicating is more important. Listening is more important. Like that, instead of talking, instead of like listening and retaining that information that person is telling you, and actually putting it into action and really practicing that. You might fall short because that's not something that you're really used to, but you're trying to make it fit into your life because you want that person in your life. So that's sacrifice. So nobody's sacrificing nothing no more. Everybody's selfish than a motherfucker. But you got some people out who's really building. You know what I'm saying? You really got people out who's really building, who's not selfish, who's selfless, who's supportive. Like, you have people out here like that. So I applaud them. I know that I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find that one day, but I just haven't found it yet.
Okay.
And I might have found it, and I might have fucked it up. I'm not gonna lie. I might have fucked it up. I did.
It's just life, though, right?
It's like, but nah, I wasn't that attracted to her. I wasn't. That shallow. I wasn't that attracted to her though.
That is pretty shallow. It
is. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's shallow. It's shallow than the mother. But I wasn't that attractive to her, and I just felt like that's just something that I look. It's just that's something I like. I like attractive women.
But isn't that more so? Like the physical experience, right? Like, you talk about your music, you want people to connect on the soul type of level and just the feeling. But how can you say that and you're not attracted to a woman but she could have been for you? Like, that's not.
Well, I say this. I can't say she could have been for me. It was certain things. It wasn't just her not being attractive. It wasn't just like her not looking good. It was certain things that she did that wasn't attractive, bro.
Okay.
Like, it was certain things like she wasn't a woman who was really confident in herself.
Okay.
I didn't like that. I like a woman who's confident, who's a woman who's like, nah, we can do this. Who can make a decision if something happened to me.
But if you like her though, you don't think you play a role in helping her build her confidence?
I try. It's only so much you can do to try, bro. There's only so much you can say to a person. Like, she's like, I want to do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm like, all right, look, well, we can set the cameras up. Let's do it. And then she like, I really don't want to do this. Like, you're not motivated. Like, that I didn't like that. I want somebody who gonna help me get on my shit too, because I'm not saying like I'm the mother who got everything together, but it's like we need to build. I don't need to just be building you. You need to build me too. So that was what it was. As far as attraction, as far as how she looked, I could have been with her. Yeah, she looked good, but it was like she wasn't building me. So yeah, she was unattractive to me in that way. If that makes sense. Okay.
So we talked a little bit about just Black people and African Americans in relationships. I want to kind of gear towards just the healthcare and just Black people and health in general. I know you mentioned diabetes. Has that played a role in your life?
Men, go to the doctor. Because there's some shit that's probably wrong with a lot of men out here. They're not going to the doctor. And I think that with me having diabetes, that really helped me. Diabetes made me different from anybody that I know in my age range. I had to be an adult at 6 years old.
Wow.
Like, I had to be an adult. I had to learn how to the right measurements and shit. I had to eat at a certain time. I had a schedule at 6. So my thought process and how I think is way more advanced, I would say. And I'm not being arrogant, but than a lot of my peers, because I think totally different. I'm not just thinking. Everybody, I'm not saying everybody got problems, but shit, like with diabetes, it's like you don't even know if you're gonna be here the next day. Like, so shit is crazy all the time with it. So yeah, dealing with that, I think that it kind of gave me a different perspective about life and how I look at life.
Did you ever question God, like at a young age, why you have to deal with things like this?
I would say I question. Yeah, I ain't saying I never question God, but I just asked him just to take it away from me. As a kid, like, God, please take this away from me. Like, yeah, I've asked him that, but. It was something. I think that after a while I started like, God gave this to me for a reason. Like, me being diabetic, I wouldn't be TJ if I wasn't a diabetic, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I wouldn't be the soul lifter if I wasn't a diabetic. So I think that having diabetes it made me a different animal.
So what are some of the things that that Black people think about diabetes that isn't true or might be true? What are some of those things that you think we should know?
I mean, things you should know, man. You shouldn't be eating white foods. No bread, no rice, no white potatoes.
Well, if that's what we grew up on, that's what we know.
Yeah, and we are. This is the most ignorant thing that Black people say. We always saying, Big Mama, how she died from a fucking triple bypass? She had a heart attack, but then we go to the bypass and eat the shit that made her die. Does that make sense? Like, for real?
Nah, man.
It don't make sense because, like, damn, grandma, she died from cancer, but we eating the food, go to the bypass and eat the food that made her die. She be eating the shit. We'll be eating the shit our whole life. So I think that our mindset got to change. That we got to stop eating the fucking slave food, bro. It's a slave mentality, brother. You know, we think this is all we can eat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying judging everybody, but like I am on a plant-based diet. I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat no more. I only eat veggies and fruits. And every now and then I'll say I might eat some salmon or something like that. Every now and then. But I think that we need to start eating cleaner and being more, and stop eating just to eat. Start eating for our body. Because a lot of times
because we know it's time to eat.
We know it's time to eat. No, but our body needs certain things. In the morning, you got to eat in rhythm. It's a rhythm you're supposed to have when you eat. In the morning, you're supposed to have, like, on the empty stomach, get you some warm water and some lime in there and drink that. That should flush out everything. The thing is, while we have all these diseases, our colon is backed up from all that graveyard that's in our stomach. You have a graveyard in your stomach. Think about that. All that shit's in your stomach. You're not shitting all that out all the time. It's stuck in there. So if you cleanse your body and your digestive is good, you'll be good. And how your digestive get good is by eating more fibers, fruits, vegetables, stuff like that. You eat that, and that flushes you out. I'm not saying you can't eat meat, but eat more veggies and stuff like that more than you eat that, because you got to flush all that shit out. Because if we're not flushing out, that's how we get all these diseases and the diabetes. And the thing is, I was diagnosed when I was 6, so I don't know what it was, what my parents was feeding me. But you know, with kids, we give our babies nothing but all that sugar. Shit probably fucked me up. Because your body can't process all that sugar all the time. Your body's getting the sugar. And with me not having a pancreas, my pancreas not working, the sugar just staying in my body and is going straight to my kidneys and fucking my kidneys up. So all these parents giving your kids all this sugar, all the white foods, I'm telling you, potatoes, sugar, ain't nothing but sugar, rice, sugar, sugar, corn. Sugar. It's nothing but sugar, bro. It's nothing but sugar, like, for real. Yeah. And I think that that's the silent killer. That's really what's killing us. It's sugar. It's not drugs. It's sugar. We're dying mostly from heart disease, diabetes, and shit like that. That's what we're dying from. African Americans. Cancer as well, but the main ones is heart disease, diabetes. That has something to do with our diet. So I think that we need to really start thinking different. And your mindset has something to do with your mindset as well. You know, and I'm not saying stop eating meat. I'm not saying stop, doing what you do, but have things in moderation and eat in rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Get that digestive tract good. You're supposed to take at least 3 shits a day. At least 3. You had 3 meals, 3 shits. Probably you have some snacks in between that. Probably be a little bit more.
All that just get stuck inside of us.
You said what? Yeah, because motherfuckers only shitting probably one time a day, or maybe twice. Like, it's energy. You're supposed to burn that. But if that shit just sitting in there, it's just sitting in there. That's why a lot of motherfuckers fat as hell. If that shit just sitting in there, I guarantee you, and you're supposed to get 2 colon cleansers a year. Get 2. Flush that shit out. I guarantee you, it change. People gotta start changing their mindset, bro, on how to eat. And then diabetes taught me that, because certain things I can't even go back to meat for real no more. If I eat chicken, it's like I can taste the blood. I can't explain it. So yeah, I can't even fuck with it no more.
I feel it.
Yeah, but I'm sorry I ain't mean to discuss y'all with that. Yeah, I'm like, mother, man, we going to Harold's after this, goddammit.
Get some chicken.
We're going to Harold's chicken.
Okay, so TJ, are you working on anything right now? Like, is it something special that you're working on? Can we expect like anything soon from you?
Yeah, I'm working on this comic book that I'm doing. It's an audio comic book that I'm about to do. It's called the Low End Vigilantes. It's called TJ Allen, the Soul Lifter, and the Low End Vigilantes. The Low End is an area where I'm from, Chicago. We call it the Low End, and I'm dropping merch for that as well soon. But it's an area I'm from in Chicago. It's called the Low End. It's like the low end numbers of Chicago. It's certain sides from the south side of Chicago. Okay. So it's kind of like vigilance. You think of vigilance, you think of like the Batman and people taking things into their own hands and for justice. So it's kind of what the Low End Vigilante is going to be based on. The Soul Lifter is going to be like a body person who's planting farms. Instead of having liquor stores on every corner, we plant farms on each corner. And we having a community of farms and shit, giving people to eat herbs and eat well. So, but the people he's going to go against is big pharma. But I know I'm gonna have pushback from that. But that's what's killing us, though. We're taking all these medicines and stuff like that. We're not really eating. That's why I said we eat just to eat. We're not eating for what our body needs. So that's kind of gonna be my thing with that.
What place are you in when creating this project? Are you excited? Think you have a message that you have to give people, a responsibility? Like, what place are you in?
This is a responsibility. It's a responsibility from God. It's what God gave me to do, for real. Like, that's why he called me Soul Lifter. That's how I got the name, from God. Soul Lifter. 2006. I was in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I was living with my parents at the time. No, I was home visiting from school. I was at NIU. I was home visiting in Vegas from school. So my parents lived in Vegas. They moved here now in Atlanta, but they lived out there, and I was out there. And my name was TJ Allen, the King. I mean TJ the King at first. So I called myself TJ the King. I'm like, nah, can't go with that. T.I. got that. 2005 T.I. Like around the same time when I was coming out with that T.I. Boom, King.
Right,
and that was it. I'm like, well, that's it for that. I can't be that. And it was too close because TJ, T.I. was too close. So I was just asking God, what do I want to be known for? It's like soul, and like and like I started by like uplifting, and then it kind of brought it together, and like that's the name that I heard in my head. You want to tell you something? You can actually hear God. We ignore it. We ignore it all the time. You can actually hear God. It's something that KRS-One did, right?
Okay.
We can do it. We can do it right now. In your head, right now, I want you to say, "I am a genius." In your head, say it in your head. You said it. You heard it. Who was that? And why can't I hear that? Who you think that is that you hear in your head? It's a voice, but it's yours. But like, if you can hear something, why can't I hear it though? That's your ultimate power. That's your higher self. That's your being. That's God. Your thoughts, your consciousness. That's who God is. And when people say, "I heard God talk," you do hear God talk because when you have that consciousness with yourself, you being conscious. We all make up God who He is. That's all we in the image of Him. All of our thoughts, we hear Him different. Because we can both hear the word, but we're gonna listen to it a different way because God talks to us differently. I'm gonna retain it in my head and I'm gonna repeat it differently in my head than you are. Because that's how God talks to us differently. So that's what makes Him so powerful, because we make God who He is. If you really think about it, we make God who He is. And I think that once you start getting more in tune with yourself and really start to realize who you are, like I think a lot of black people who do realize that who they are, they kill them. Tupac, Michael Jackson, all these people, Nipsey. When we realize who we are, they kill us.
So what you're kind of explaining is that we're almost like gods. Like we're not the God.
We're not the God. We make up God who He is. We are a part of God. If you think about,
and we have those powers and abilities.
Exactly. Because just like Jesus, so the thing is, Jesus wasn't put here to be glorified. That's what people don't understand. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe He died for our sins. I believe as a Christian would, but I don't call myself a Christian because that's not a thing of endearment. They called them Christians. That was like an insult. I'm a follower of Christ. It's a difference. It's a follower of Christ. So it's a different. And the reason why I'm following Christ, you go through Christ to get to me. The life that Christ lived, the life that Christ lived, it was perfect. But He had His moments. Jesus had His moments to where He could have failed. He had those thoughts in His head, bro. If you think about cartoons and consciousness, when they have the devil here and they have the angel, something like that here, like who do you listen to more? Who do you listen to more? Because both of them are talking to you. Your conscience is talking to you. Life is nothing but choices and feelings. Both of them are talking. Like, who do you hear more? You know what? I'm going to go with this angel today. But sometimes, like, man, I'm going demon time. I'm not saying, like, I do it all the time, but I do. We do. That's what sin is. But it depends on who you're going to feed more. And I feel like it's really no good to evil, in a way. It's not.
Is some of this in your projects that you have, like in your music, your videos, things like that? Is some of this messaging in that? Do you portray that?
I got stuff that's coming with things like that. And a lot of times when I do spit anything or say anything like this, people look at me like I'm don't know what I'm talking about. But I mean, that's just, and it's my perspective. I think that's the biggest thing that we get confused. We judge people too much on their perspective. Your perspective, but I gotta respect that because it's yours. Because you hear God differently than me. What I look like judging you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, like I say, everybody has their own evolution. When God said, "Let there be light," we existed that day. We existed that day when God said, "Let there be light." We are the Word. If you think about it, we are the Word. When they say God is the Word, we are the Word because God said, "Let there be light." It exploded, and then we're still evolving. Like right now, evolution is still happening right now. So that's why there's no time. God is not within time. That's why there's no time, because the present, the past, and the future all is happening at the same time, simultaneously. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's like, let there be light is way light years away. We can't even fathom that moment.
But it's still happening now.
It's still happening. We still exploding out into the universe, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like it's a lot of things like that, bro. And like, who am I to stop somebody's evolution?
Mm-hmm.
Like only God can do that. Only God can like, you know what? I'm bringing it back.
Yeah, and that's when you would think, or you would say, when Jesus will come back, right?
Jesus will come back every day. Jesus will come back every day. People die every day. People have their revelation happens every day. People life flashes before their eyes before they die, and they get revealed. People die every day, and people really don't die. This just goes away. Like I say, everything's temporary. That's why when in relationships, that's why with your parents and stuff like that, I'm not saying I'm not being attached to them, but don't get too attached because one day they won't have to go. And one day, not even just go, motherfuckers might separate.
Mm-hmm.
It's temporary. You can't dwell on that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when Jesus returns is when you die. He returns every day.
When can we expect this project of yours to be released?
January.
January.
Yeah, January. I'm going for January. Hopefully, you know, everybody's in a good space during that time. You know, because after I don't want to drop it right now because everything's about to be focused on this election. From here all the way up until January until whatever happens. So yeah, that's when I'm about January around that time.
All right.
A little bit towards going February, a little around that time. Yeah. So yeah.
TJ, that's all I have for you, man. I just want to say thank you.
Appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. This is a good interview.
Yeah,
man.
Hey, you know the vibes every time we hook up, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.